Chosen Feud Fighting Championships number 25 rolls on here from the Monona Terrace Convention Center in Madison. I'm Eric Rogers alongside Peter Johannes. We've got a couple great fights here coming up for you to round out the amateur bouts. And then we've got 3 pro fights on the card. This one between LEMAR Brooks of 0 to 100 Fitness and MMA and Ryan Stevens from The Blast Muay Thai. Both these men, Peter, with some experience at 185 pounds. So it's a third match in a row, matchup that we've seen with 0 to 100 Fitness and MMA. So we'll see how the coaching staff continues to train these fighters, because they've certainly been on point here tonight.
Yeah, like I said before, Marlon Culpepper and the guys at 0 to 100 are building quite the team in Milwaukee. You know, Milwaukee has kind of been the mecca of MMA in this state, you know, besides the Chosen Few gym / Capital City BJJ gym. You know, they hold the fort down here in Madison, but Milwaukee's got, you know, Rufus Sport, Pure Vita, Primal MKE, and many more. 0 to 100 is quietly making a name for themselves. As I said before, they have a ton of people in their gym, and obviously they're fighters because they got, what, 4 people on this card?
I think that's right. Yeah, you're right, and it's, you know, what we've seen so far in you know, some of the striking and being active, and Ryan Stevens looking like, you know, Muay Thai is going to be kind of his thing as well. You know, we've seen when you get a guy who's a striker versus a guy who's going to be more of a ground game jiu-jitsu type of guy, but it looks like this might be 2 of the same type of fighting styles as Ryan Stevens makes his way to the ring. The Blast Muay Thai fighting styles, you would think that Stevens has more of that same type of that fighting style, the stand-up jiu-jitsu, or not jiu-jitsu, the Muay Thai style coming out of that gym.
The Blast with my guy Shaw Evans over there. The Blast started off as just like a kickboxing gym in the Madison area. They've been doing MMA now for a while. Their coach there, Evans, he's a really good guy, knows his stuff for sure. And you gotta love fighting in your hometown, right?
Well, that you do, and the Madison area crowd has certainly supported its fighters as they're coming to the ring with loud cheers, and those who have been watching Chosen Few Championships in the past have seen Ryan Stevens. Here he does have a amateur record of 3-2 versus LEMAR Brooks' 1-0 record. But you know, you can, how much of that can you throw out the window when you get into the stages, especially, like, is it more accurate of a fighter's skill level at the pro level versus the amateur level, or is it all across the board just a crapshoot of who's going to be more prepared that night?
I mean, a lot goes into a camp, right? I mean, you never know. It could be injury, it could be personal matters. You just don't know. All I know is the gyms that consistently put talent at the next level, or have guys that have had good records on the regional scene, they really dial in. They kind of keep everything outside the cage. They come in there and they just do what they got to do.
Stevens circles the ring, waiting to be introduced, and we'll see the tail of the tape. Certainly a tall man Ryan Stevens is at this 185-pound bout.
Representing 0 to 100 Fitness and MMA, LEMAR Brooks. And his opponent, standing in the red corner, also weighed in at 185 pounds, fighting out of Madison, Wisconsin, representing the Blast Muay Thai, the Iron Hammer, Ryan Stevens.
So I wanted to let that one play out there for a little bit, Peter, because the crowd, you know, we get a large Madison contingent here for these fights. But certainly another Madison versus Milwaukee fight here tonight. The two main, it seems, cities coming out with these programs to bring these great fighters here to your TV screens. You see these two men trading jabs here early on. But Brooks seems
these
to
guys
be a
are
little
really
bit
throwing.
aggressive. But Stevens trying to tuck the chin a little bit as he's got Brooks pinned against the cage in the early goings.
Came out fast and throwing. That's kind of something we see often with the amateurs is I think it's just a big rush of adrenaline. They're ready to get going. They throw really hard, and then they kind of settle into the fight. Got over-under position here.
Well, and if those who may know me on the broadcast, I do coach track and field as well for high school students, and that's kind of one of the things that we like to coach them as well. Like especially in the mid distance and sprints, is like you have that initial burst when the race starts, just like when these fights start. There is that just almost a nervous energy, and the reserves are there. You can use those few seconds of the burst, and now we're seeing some of that as we're settled in. The knee strikes.
Those hurt,
Stevens.
man, let me tell you.
No, those don't look fun.
They don't look fun. You get that knee, bone on bone right there.
As we get a nice look at that from our camera crew.
You'll feel that more in the morning.
But the burst of energy you have at the start of a race or the start of a fight, and you can use that. It doesn't really burn up much of your reserves as long as you're safe with it, and don't go too hard too early, as we have a minute left in round number 1 between these two men. And it's been all Stevens. If you look at me, there we go.
Down right in front of us, right away in side control. He's got a little bit of time here. Probably not time to finish, but he can really soften him up here.
And Brooks needs to provide something to his corner and to the judges to say, I'm not out in this fight.
He did a good job there getting to the full guard. Coach Culpepper over there walking him through that sequence.
So hugging the head down, he's trying to pull Stevens' head down, which then I guess prevents some of that. So if you can prevent your opponent from standing up. In that guard as the seconds tick away in round number 1. Stevens landing some hits. And that'll be the end of round number 1. Yeah, good round for Stevens.
He's walking.
And Brooks trying to fight his way out of that one here at the end of round number 1, and we'll come back with round number 2. You're watching Chosen Few Fighting Championships 25 on TBW. Round number 2 about to begin here between LEMAR Brooks and Ryan Stevens. Peter, we watched a round 1 that started off with a flurry, and then it was all Stevens from there as he was pinning LEMAR Brooks up against the cage and then on the ground.
Yeah, he did a good job. They came out guns blazing. Gets the takedown right here, kind of a trip, and then lands right into the side control, which is a great position to be in.
Yeah, fortunate for Stevens on that one, and Brooks trying to remain calm. He's got 2 more rounds, hopefully for him to either make something happen and end it sooner than that, or to make himself known to the judges. Round 2 underway. Brooks right under the armpit, the lat area of Stevens.
Both guys exchanging kicks here, some feints.
Well, on the knees that Brooks took in round number 1, do you feel that at the end of this fight, or is that going to wait until tomorrow?
I mean, they're definitely feeling it now, but they got the adrenaline going, so in the morning they're going to really feel it. That lead leg has been kind of tenderized, I guess you could say.
It's part of setting up the long game of it. And Stevens was threatening with some fists and backs Brooks up into the cage again. Now, what is Brooks trying to do here? What would be the best move in this position?
To avoid that. Sometimes it's unavoidable. I mean, right now this is a little weird position here because he's kind of turtled onto his side. He's got to try and either scramble and peek out the side there, or he's got to get to the full guard and work on a submission.
I think he is trying to pop out the side and not give up his back in the process as he takes some gentle fists to the head. Okay, so now that ends up putting Stevens in side control. Probably not what Brooks wanted. In the arm, but then Stevens goes to the knees to the side, another one. That doesn't feel good.
Does a great job. Those were good knees.
And as you can see from Stevens' perspective, he's also keeping Brooks' head under control and switches quickly, trying to get it.
That was nice. Got a locked-in arm triangle here. He's got a full minute to work. Brooks doing a decent job trying to defend there. Gives the thumbs up.
Says to the official, I'm good to continue the fight.
You know, Brooks is oh, there you go. Stevens, yeah, wise. He was going to blow out the arms there.
I'll tell you, if he can survive this round.
This is kind of a crucifix position here. Oh, he's got it.
Oh, that's going to be painful if he can hang on for 20 more seconds. We'll see if Stevens can finish it. Brooks trying to work his way out, and he's getting to the back.
Looks like he's going to survive, yeah.
You can't help but cheer for Brooks on that one in that position. It's tough, but Stevens can't believe that Brooks survived round number 2, and the crowd showing their support in that one. A great round 2. Boy, we're going to come back with a great finish in this one. Round 3 coming up, Chosen Few 25 on TVW. We are back here with the decision, Chosen Few 25. What we missed at the very end of that round was as time was ticking down, the judge did give the nod. It looks like Stevens comes out at victorious in that one, and Brooks did not, in fact, hang on.
Your referee, Tom Davalis, has called a halt to this contest. 2 minutes, 59 seconds of the second round, declaring your winner by armbar, the Iron Hammer, Ryan Stevens.
Well, you don't give up on an armbar. 2 minutes and 59 seconds into a 3-minute round, round 2. So Stevens does get the decision, or the win by armbar over LEMAR Brooks. And you know, Peter, we got to give it to Brooks for surviving as long as he did.
Absolutely.
And that was a great fight, and 29 seconds worth of hanging on, or maybe even longer than that. I remember, watching. We were able to look back at the replay of just how that one played out, because there were a couple of different ways that Stevens could have won that fight, and he ended up taking it by armbar, 2:59 into round number 2. So as we look ahead to the final amateur fight of the night, we will have a title fight. So we'll take a quick pause here. We'll come back with that fight right after the break.